Hey WordPress users! Welcome to WP Interactions. In this video, we'll be teaching you how to create toggle on or off buttons with WP Interactions. A regular button in WordPress is usually just linked to a URL. In contrast, a button toggle alternates between two states with each click, allowing users to activate or deactivate features like hiding or showing content. Here's a basic example of a toggle button in web design. It's an information button that, when clicked, will display information about the image. We'll be recreating this exact interaction. Let's start! In the block editor, we have here photos as background images, a row with a paragraph block, and a button. Now, let's select the button block. Click the Add Interaction to Block button from the block toolbar, and from the options, select Click Toggle. This is the interaction that will allow us to add the functionality to the button to switch states. Now, moving on to the sidebar, we'll see a toggle on action timeline. This is where we'll customize the active state of our button. Let's add our first action. From the action menu, select opacity. Set this first to 0. In the Applied To settings, select Block from the drop-down menu. Then click the target selector to select our paragraph block. I'm copying the anchor for easy pasting later. Next, let's toggle on the Set as Starting State setting. Doing this will establish that the text will not be visible when the page is loaded. This time, add another opacity action. Now leave it set to 1. In the Applied To settings, let's target block and paste the anchor we copied earlier. Then, let's set the starting time to 0 so that it starts immediately once our interaction is triggered. That's it for the toggle on action timeline. We've set up the active state. Let's now scroll to the toggle off action timeline to customize the inactive state of our toggle button. In the toggle off action timeline, add the opacity action. In the action properties, set it to 0. Now, let's apply this to the paragraph block. And we're done! Let's save our interaction and preview it on the front end. Now that your basic toggle button is set up, you can take it further by adding additional actions to enhance its functionality. By layering extra actions, like changing colors or animating elements, you can create a richer, more engaging user experience with your toggle button. Let's try adding actions that will give a visual cue that our active state is on. Going back to the editor, let's add a background color action in the toggle on timeline. Let's leave this set to black. Keep it applied to the interaction trigger, and set the starting time to 0. This time, add a text color action and set it to white. Keep this applied to the interaction trigger as well, and set the starting time to 0 again. Now, let's do the opposite for the toggle off action timeline. Add a background color action, set this to white, keep it applied to the interaction trigger, and set the starting time to 0. Finally, add a text color action, leave this set to black, keep it applied to the interaction trigger, and set the starting time to 0. Let's save this and preview this on the front end. With these additional actions, you've transformed a simple toggle button into a dynamic and interactive feature that enhances user engagement on your site. All there's left to do is to apply the same interaction to the rest of the buttons. And there you have it! In this tutorial, we've shown how easy it is to create a custom toggle button using WP Interactions, with options to add actions that elevate your design's interactivity and user experience. With just a few steps, you can create responsive elements that bring your website to life. Thanks for watching!